Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome back to another Southampton series episode. This is episode 17, I believe. So we're doing quite well, getting well into this save, and yeah, today is probably the biggest game of the series so far. We have Derby County, who are in 8th. We are in 7th. Potential Europa League spot is up for grabs with this game here today. As you can see, if we go into the league table very quickly here before we get into the fixtures, we're on 54 points, they're on 53 points. A draw or win for us today will put us into 7th, and a loss will put us into 8th. So yeah, it's a massive game. Derby, for some reason, are doing very, very well this season. They actually have more wins than us. I don't really know why. I'm not too sure if they actually have any real decent players. They might just be playing really well for some reason this year. Have a look at their squad. Rog, yeah, he's not a decent player. Well, he's all right, but he's not outstanding. Of course, they do have Will Hughes, who is probably the best player in the squad. They got Manquillo, who is actually a decent player as well. But going down, Jeff Hendrick. Yeah, he looks alright. And of course, they have Barini, who for some reason was out injured today, so that's pretty good. And so is De Jong. They've got they do actually have quite a few decent players. I didn't totally realise. Neil Taylor, he's quite old at the moment, and Bradley Johnson. Some players you guys will know of in their team, definitely. But then you got some players that aren't too recognisable. But anyway, let's get into the fixtures. Of course, the previous episode was a live com against Arsenal, which we won. Very impressive result, to be honest. A 3-1 victory there. We followed that up with a 4-1 loss to Manchester City. The game was really over as soon as they got their first goal through Sterling. We did get one back through Carrasco, but I never felt comfortable at all. They went 2-1 up in the 34th minute through Aguero, who just very easily scores against me every time we verse them, so yeah, not too happy about that, although he is a world-class player. Aya, who's a young player, and then Guedes within the last 10 minutes both scored goals, and Guedes is the Portuguese right winger that they paid like 50, or yeah, I think it was like 50 million for. Um, so yeah, good to see him getting a goal for them, I suppose. We then followed that up with a 0-0 draw against Watford. As you can see, Marouane Fellaini getting sent off in the 92nd minute. We bounced back with a win against Reading. Nice little 2-1 result here. As you can see, both teams missed a penalty, but Van Dijk got us back on level terms, and then a Turbe quite late on in the 84th minute. Carrasco missed our penalty, and Kuhl missed their penalty for them. We then managed a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth. Pretty, disappointing because Bournemouth only had the one shot on target, and they did score from that. We had 9 shots on target, could only manage the one goal as well, and our goal came through Iheanacho. We then managed to beat Norwich 1-0. We've got to try and grind out these results, and that's exactly what we did in this one. We got a Balic penalty, and that was pretty much it for the whole game. Another thing I should mention is... Okay, where do I start? Romero was complaining about first team football and being homesick despite being at the club for 2 seasons nearly. So I sent him back to Argentina to, be with his family. And then Chesney picked up an injury for just over a month. So I was left with absolutely no, actual goalkeepers apart from the 2 young youth prospects, the regens in our under-18s team. And they are obviously nowhere near the quality that we actually need. So I brought in 2 emergency loans, one being Savic, and from United, the 22-year-old Serbian goalkeeper. He's quite decent. And the other one was a Portuguese regen from Liverpool, who was also quite decent. Um, and yeah, they actually played quite well. It was around this time, we didn't really concede too many goals, and yeah, something to think about. But anyway, we lost the next game 1-0 to Liverpool. Daniel Sturridge in the 65th minute. As you can see, we probably deserved to get a draw there. And yeah, as I mentioned, Savic, the United goalkeeper, picked up an injury of his own. So that was quite annoying, I have to admit. But by this time, Romero was back. But I wanted to give Savic another game simply because he kept a clean sheet in the previous one. So a little bit disappointing. Of course, he conceded a goal. And then in the next game, he got... and then the next 5 or 6 minutes managed to pick up an injury as well, so kind of compiled the pressure on us a little bit, and we ended up losing to Liverpool there. The next game was Sheffield Wednesday, a 1-1 draw. Pretty disappointing stuff, I have to admit. Joachim Olsen, a pretty decent Swedish regen, probably their best prospect they have in their whole team, managed to pick up a goal in the 17th minute. We did get the equaliser, however, through Balic, again with another penalty. I think it was in the exact same minute as the game against Norwich, which is very weird. We followed that up with a nice little 2-1 victory over Cardiff, but it is a team that we should be beating, so yeah, good stuff I suppose. Balic in the 29th minute is coming up with quite a few goals at the moment. Zivkovic also in the 38th minute. They got a goal back a minute later through Katabia, but we did manage to get all 3 points, and that was a very important result for us going into the last few games of the season. We then couldn't beat United, lost 1-0, a Rafinha goal in the 81st minute. Balic had a chance to continue his goal-scoring form, but he missed a penalty in the 87th minute. We then managed to beat Queen's Park Rangers. They did get relegated once again, I believe. I think this might have even been the game that they went down. Balic with another penalty. Carrasco and Honda with a rare start coming up with a goal there as well. Quite interesting, giving me a few things to think about. We then played against Everton, got absolutely battered by them 3-1 away. But as you can see, there were a few telling points in the game. Perez, who just scores against me every time we verse him, got a brace for himself. Zivkovic opened the scoring with a goal in the 33rd minute. Van Dijk got sent off with 2 yellow cards in the 75th. Zivkovic got injured in the 88th minute. And of course, Ross Barkley scored their 3rd goal in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. The 3rd minute of stoppage time, I should say. Pretty disappointing result, not going to lie. We then managed a 0-0 draw at home to Chelsea, against Chelsea. Pretty decent result, to be honest. Carrasco did pick up a knock, though. But I was very happy to get the draw there in a game we probably should have lost if I believe correctly. But as you can see, most of my defenders there picking up very, very good ratings. We managed to beat Tottenham in the next game. 2-0 victory. Iheanacho with a brace there. Massive result, especially considering where we are located in the Premier League table. Katembe with a 7.6 and an assist to his name as well. As I mentioned, Iheanacho with a man-of-the-match performance. Absolutely beautiful game he played there. And of course, today will be the final game of the season against Derby, as I mentioned at the start of the video. Very, very important result. And I think we'll just get straight into it, eh? Some of the other results, we've got Arsenal against Man City, who have done the treble once again. I think they've done it like the last 3 seasons in a row, I believe. So that's quite massive. Aren't too many really important fixtures there. Maybe Newcastle Chelsea is quite nice. But apart from that, I mean, that's the biggest game by far. And Arsenal are coming 3rd at the moment, so they'll definitely want to pick up a result there, seeing as though City have already clinched the league. Let me just see if I can change anything around here. Of course, Zivkovic is out injured, as I mentioned. Picked up the injury against I forget who it was against, but it was quite recent. So I think we'll just keep the starting lineup we've got today. Of course, coming off that victory against Tottenham. We've got Chesney in goals, Van Voorthuizen as the right centre-back, Van Dijk as the central ball-playing defender, and McCarthy as the left centre-back. We've got Katambwe on the left wing-back position, Sakai as the right wing-back, Wanyama and Balic as our two central midfielders today, with Kostic on the right wing, Carrasco on the left, and Iheanacho up front. Sorry for that. The bench today will be Romero, Jones, Kazawa, Fellaini, Myers, Bernard, and Lopez. Of course, I got a comment in the I think it was 1 or 2 episodes ago, talking about Lopez and how he could become an absolute, wonder kid, world class. He already is a wonder kid, but he could become a world class player. And looking at his stats, he really could have, if I had given him more game time. Of course, he is only young still at 21, but I think if I'd given him a little bit more game time early on, he definitely could have been something nice, because he's got the pace and he's got the finishing and the composure. He's got everything, really. So maybe a bit of an underutilized talent there. Of course, we got him very cheap as well, 4.5 mil on the release clause. So maybe something to think about next season. And we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. He's been in the club, 2 seasons now, I believe? Something like that. So we'll have to see what happens in the summer. Maybe we sell him, maybe we keep him and we try and play him and see how he goes for us. I think that's what I'm probably leaning a bit more towards. But of course I do have 2 very, very good strikers in front of him, with Zivkovic and Iheanacho. So playing time is going to be very, very scarce. But we'll see what we can do. Anyway, rambling on a bit too much there. I'm going to tell the boys to carry on from where we finished against Tottenham, because that was a brilliant little result there. Well, it wasn't a little result, it was quite a massive result, but anyway. And I'd like to start the match. It's, for some reason, it's quite unresponsive at the moment, which I'm not very happy with. But it doesn't seem to be lagging, so that's quite good. Okay, so Derby have got a throw in. Ince, Hendrick, who looked a very good player, but that's a bit of a nothing ball out. And Voorthuizen very easily cleared that. Sakai now inside to Kostic. Beats his man. Can he shoot? Yes, he can, but that's easily saved by their goalkeeper there, who throws it long. Oh, there's a bit of lag there. Okay, it's gone. Good stuff. Carrasco, acres of space in front of him. Looks like he's about to switch it out. No, he brings it back inside. Iheanacho, Wanyama, Kostic. Still Kostic, Wanyama. Oh my god, how did he not score there? Apologies if you can hear me sniffle. I think I might be getting a little bit of a cold at the moment, so hopefully that doesn't happen, but that is the reasoning behind it. And looking at things here, we are taking the game to Derby. Very much so. It's kind of an ever-present thing that we essentially dominate teams that aren't in the top 5 or 6. But they, of course, somehow manage to get, decent results against us sometimes. Of course, we do only need a draw or a win here today. And at the moment, at 0-0, we would be staying in 7th position. And potentially, bad foul, potentially clinching a Europa League position, depending on who wins the cups and whatnot. So yeah, we're pretty much half an hour to go. Nothing really is happening. We haven't had too many highlights in the game so far. We've got one here through Carrasco. Can he play it to Kostic? Yes, he can. Will that be 1-0? Yes, it is. Get in. Philip Kostic, 3rd goal of the season only, but what an important goal it is. Oh, and they bounce back with a highlight straight away. Can they get the equaliser? Yes, they can. Wow. Sorensen, I think he's a centre-back, isn't he? Okay, so we had absolutely no highlights for the first, 60 minutes of the game, and then we get 2 goals straight away within 1 minute. Lovely. I think I'm going to leave things how they are. I'm not going to make any substitutions because... actually we will. Will we? Yes, we will. We'll bring Lopez on. He's not match fit. Oh, he is match fit. Okie dokie. Well, that's quite good to see. So Lopez on. Iheanacho was playing horribly despite having a mad game last in the last game against Tottenham. He's playing a 6.4. So Lopez will get his chance to do something. Anything, please, Lopez. Come on, mate. Alright, we've got to highlight Kitembe with the throw-in. Lopez on the ball. What can he do? Shoots! Oh, and he nearly scores. That was a good shot. We've got a corner, though. Carrasco. And it's cleared easily away. And they could be on the counter-attack here, Derby. Come on, boys. Shut it down. Oh, and Vasquez beats his man. Oh, get there. Oh, what a tackle. What a tackle. Virgil van Dijk, mate. Brilliant stuff. Carrasco half clears it away. Oh, Chesney gets it. Thank God. Nervous moments here. They're getting an abundance of highlights now. They played out wide to Christie. Oh my God. He almost scored again. Oh my God. Alright, 2 minutes of stoppage time. Can we hold on for the draw? Kitembe to McCarthy. Kitembe plays it back. Balic. Wanyama plays it forward. Lopez. Oh, Kostic again. Shoot. Oh, it's blocked. Oh, and then Wanyama gives the ball away. They could be on the counter-attack here. There's a minute left to go. No. 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 Oh, what a save by Chesney. Thank God. Oh, Van Dijk gave the ball away right at the back there. Could not believe what I was seeing. Thought it was a Chambers blunder all over again. They're still on the ball. There's still 40 seconds to go. Van Voorthuizen plays it back to Chesney. 30 seconds left. Come on, boys. Hold on. Derby, you've got the ball once again. Hughes plays it long. Van Dijk heads it down to Voorthuizen. And then Sakai plays out wide to McCarthy. Moving the ball quite nicely. Come on, boys. Hold possession. 10 more seconds. Carrasco. Oh, and he gives the ball away once again. But it looks like it should be full time. Come on, blow the whistle, ref. And Puku to Vasquez. Oh my God. Christie's in behind. Oh, it's gone out. And there's the final whistle. Exciting end to that game. Oh man, my heart is absolutely racing. Didn't really mean to do that. I'm just going to say unlucky boys. It was not our day. Despite pretty much dominating. It was fairly even to be fair. But we, as usual, have the lion's share of possession. And of course we do finish in 7th position. And of course that draw there for Derby knocks them back into 10th. And we finish 1 point above Everton, who finish in 8th. Coming up from 10th actually, I believe. So yeah, not the greatest game in the world, but we didn't lose. And of course that does mean that we keep our 7th position. Potential Europa League spot for next season. I guess you guys will just have to wait and find out. And see if we are actually in the competition next year. So guys, that's basically going to wrap this episode up. I will actually do a little bit of a fixture review in a second here. We'll just do a very brief one though, because I would like to end this recording before it drags on too much. And of course it's taking a while to process because it is the end of the season. That was a massive draw there, I'm not going to lie. We deserved a win, to be honest, but we were under the pump quite a bit towards the end there. And I think we're actually quite lucky to not lose that game. Okay, so there you go. Kostic in the 60th minute. Sorensen in the 62nd. Of course, Arsenal and City finished 2-3 going to Manchester City. Derby hold out for a draw. I think it was us holding out for a draw, to be honest. We'll go through a few of these. We get 26.03 million for finishing in 7th. The boys get 1.8 mil to be shared amongst them. And I'm going to very quickly stop it there. And let's get into the squad review. Okay, so the season's top performer was Virgil van Dijk on a 7.27, and he pretty much played 38. Well, he played 38 games, so nearly every game of the season he played. Just under him was Sakai, who we did get in a free transfer, 2 or 3 seasons ago? 3 seasons ago, and every single season he's played quite well. So I think that is an absolute wheel deal right there. So Sakai finished with a 7.26, 0.01 rating lower than Van Dijk there. Romero played 3 games the whole season. He played quite well when he was in those games. But I just feel like Wanyama and Fellaini are both just a little bit more comfortable playing the ball-winning midfielder role. So that's pretty much my reasoning behind that. We might look to sell him, although his value has dropped immensely. Very upset about that, to be honest. Borja, Sen and Materio started 19 games, 1 sub-appearance, 7.17. Katembwe, our vice-captain, an absolute wonder kid, managed to get a 7.12 match rating in 27 starts with 3 sub-appearances. And he will be the future captain of the club. As you can see, his stats are still going up. He's only 18 years old, 9 caps for the Belgian national team already. We then have Kozawa, who is his backup, got a 7.09 in 14 starts with 1 sub-appearance. Aturbe was up next. He did pick up an injury towards the end of the season, and he started 27 games with 2 sub-appearances, got 5 goals for himself, and a 7.05 rating. And pretty much everyone else under here got under a 7 match rating. Wanyama, 6.99. Vortuzian, breakthrough season for him. Quite a decent little regen prospect, the Dutch centre-back. And he picked up a 6.99 as well with 19 starts, 3 sub-appearances. Kostic, a little bit lower, didn't play as many games and score as many goals as he has in previous seasons with a 6.97. McCarthy, a little bit lower, 6.96 for him. Iheanacho, 11 starts, 12 sub-appearances, 5 goals, 6.93. New signing Carrasco got a 6.92, which was the same rating for Balic there. But going down a little bit further, we have Zivkovic, who started 31 games with the 1 sub-appearance, got 15 goals in all competitions, and a 6.91 rating to go along with it. Fellaini had a few starts, 6.88, nothing too impressive there. And then you have Myers, who also had his breakthrough season with 19 starts, 8 sub-appearances, only managed the 1 goal, and a 6.86 match rating there for him. Then we have Szczesny, who played quite well this season, started 37 games for us in all competitions, 6.84, which I believe is, half decent for a goalkeeper. And I was quite happy, to be honest, with his performances. One player I wasn't happy with was Bernard. Of course, he did manage to get... I think he set up the goal in the previous episode against Arsenal. But as you can see, 9 starts, 9 sub-appearances, no goals, and could only manage a 6.79 match rating throughout the season. And as I mentioned, we didn't start Lopez in any games this season. 2 sub-appearances, 1 coming in the last game, of course. So we've got to look to maybe give him a bit more game time when and if we can, I suppose. But that's basically going to wrap this episode up, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. We have finished in 7th position, which is our highest finish of the series so far. Maybe we'll get Europa League football. You guys will just have to wait and see in the next episode of the Southampton series. If you've enjoyed the series so far, guys, drop a like. It was our best finish so far. I think that deserves a like because I have struggled quite a bit on this year's version of the game anyway. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Goodbye.